Another amazing week of Lego creations. As always, remember that all the builders and the articles mentioned in this video will be linked in the description down below for you to go and check them out. Welcome to a new episode of This Week in Bricks. Let's start from the theroldangrace, which is currently an exhibitor at the Lego House Masterpiece Gallery, with a very small but very clever build, which is almost Halloween, so I think this would be a nice way to start the video. So we have this little skull made with only 5 pieces, and the parts used here is very, very good. Of course, the helmet is the key with those big cones coming off at the center, and what I think at the bottom should be a white epaulette for the teeth. Correct me if I'm wrong. But again, this is a very, very clever build with such a small number of parts. Very, very good. Next up, we have jentebijl. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Very talented builder. You can right away recognize her styles, her colors. With this nexopirates build, there's some very interesting angles going on in this building. Would be actually interesting to see a top view or a 360 view of this build, and also maybe a little bit of the building techniques behind this. That is very, very cool. Next up, we have legosnaillad, another familiar face, with this very, very interesting city bus depot. This is inspired by these streamlined bus depots from the 30s and 50s in the US. Very, very nice. I like the color scheme, by the way, with this dark blue, the lettering going down, the brick build logo, the bus on the left, and overall the nice curved design of this is very, very interesting. It would be nice to see something like this more on a bigger scale, with many buildings and a sort of city main street or something with this style. Very, very interesting. Next up, we have Ransom Firm with yet another amazing alternate model. This time we have Dragon Kai Mech 71822 alternate build. This is again beautiful, beautiful build that offer a great range of possibilities, so you can really have fun with these models to pose them and take some nice photo, like in this case. And of course, there is also the link to go and find the instruction for this alternate model. Very, very good as always. Next up, we have another masterpiece gallery exhibitor, kitnugent. We feature a few of the other models in the past weeks. Here is the third one that is exhibited there, which is this one inspired by the Old Man and the Sea, and is very, very, very good. A lot of very interesting trans clear part has been used to this one, which, by the way, is also on a quite big scale. Once you see closely, especially the character, you can have a better idea of the scale. That maybe is something that you cannot catch from a photo compared to in real life. Amazing, amazing build. The inner structure of this also should be something very, very clever and very, very nice to see. Then we have lego.pepijn, again, familiar face, with a beautiful, beautiful little build with a masterfully done landscape. And I really, really appreciate also the very good choice of colors and the very good balance between the different colors over here. Very well done as always. Next up, we have Nana Zhang with a quite sizable build. This is a barn build. Very, very cool. Everything is built on an angle, so every time you build something on a slight angle makes the build more interesting. We have a lot of interesting details over here, the iconic barn roof, and also some interesting technique also for the texture of the wall. For example, we have some profile bricks, some masonry bricks, the backside built sideways. Very, very cool. By the way, this is also one mug that you can purchase on Creations for Charity. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. Then over here, another masterpiece gallery exhibitor, Lego Master, Bricktacular builds with a very, very nice character build. This is Frozone, that is instantly recognizable. Like, this is just perfect in every little part, and the parts used here is just insane. Just the use of the frog for the chin over there is a amazing, amazing choice. Very, very well done. Then we have Peter von Bricks with another very interesting character. This is sort of a jellyfish island. So we have this very, very well achieved organic shape of this jellyfish. And then on top, if you open the dome on top, you have a kind of little world, a little village of his own, a very nice parts usage over there as well in micro scale, and we also have a little water mill that goes through the river. Very, very nice. Then we move on to the article section of the video. Tips and bricks. We have the jeweled eggs by swandutchman. Very, very, very cool. We have 5 eggs over here. They all have slightly, they all have quite different techniques, I would say. Different choice of color, different choice of parts. They have also a little bit of a surprise in the middle, a little bit of Easter eggs in the middle. So this is very, very, very nice. Next up, we have New Elementary with the review of the Goonies Lego idea set by Elspeth De Montes. We have some very interesting parts. We have a few different molds and recolors. Most interesting is probably these sail pieces, even though one has a sort of cut in the middle, so maybe cannot be used for other mocks. And they have a new updated version of this 1x3x2 arch piece that it doesn't have that curved edge anymore like in the previous version, so that's quite interesting. And talking about new parts, there is one that is very, very cool in the Tropical Aquarium set. Here we have an interview with the 2 Lego designers, Sven Franik and Matteo Duperer. I hope I pronounced correctly again. Interviewed by Tim Johnson. So this is a quite big and expensive set, so it's not going to be for everybody, but it's very well built, a lot of interesting techniques and function and part selection. And there is this new fin piece that I think will be quite useful, and we will see maybe a lot of these popping out in different sets in the future. It's very, very interesting, and it comes also in quite a good number and in a few different colors in the set. Then moving on to the Brothers Brick, we have an article here by clicklever about these orcs builds that has been made for the Orctober challenge. They are amazing build. Here we have a little bit of details on the different parts of these builds and the stories of each one of the character and the different bases. So definitely something that you need to go and check out. Next up, again, is an interview with Cathedral of Bricks. We featured this mock in the previous episode, I think, or in past 2 episodes. Amazing build, and it's always interesting to know a little bit more about the behind the scene and the building process and the concept and how the builders come up with their creation, and also maybe what's going to be there in the future, what could be other potential future plans for their mocks. We also have, again, Halloween theme build, this amazing jack-o'-lantern that transforms in this robot. Very, very cool. This is built by Moko, and he has actually a YouTube video, by the way, that is linked here so you can see the transformation. And this is part of a series of, I think, 14 different cubes that open up and turn in this sort of mechs. Very, very cool stuff. Then moving on to Brick Nerd, we have an interview with Ian Hou, that is an artist that we featured before on the channel, interview by Megacolormix. Very, very interesting interview. He builds everything, pop culture, animals, characters, a lot of very, very interesting shapes and interesting build, very expressive, very great choice of color, very good sculpting. A lot of very cool stuff to see and also to read in this interview. We also have an article by Simon Liu. He was on a trip with the Simon Mox, I think, the two popular Simons in the Lego community, building this, again, I don't know honestly how to pronounce this, Neuschwanstein Castle, which is one of the latest architecture set. Very, very cool. By the way, with a lot of interesting prints that might be useful for microscale builders. And then it goes into turning this into a spaceship. So it's talking a little bit about September and all the how every piece could be a space piece, and then it makes a very nice transformation of this castle into a spaceship with engine and everything. Very, very cool build, and this is an exercise that I always recommend. Take a set, modify, change it. It's just a fine, nice, creative exercise, so I recommend to everybody to try something different like this. Then I mentioned before creation for charity, so you can go here, you can donate a creation, you can donate some money, or you can buy a creation for a good cause. So here you can go and find a lot of interesting builds and instruction that will go to charity. So have a look out on the website. Not many contests this month. We still have the Halloween theme challenge over on Lego Ideas, but stay tuned because the medieval contests are coming next week. Quickly, let's finish the video with the YouTube section. Again, we are close to Halloween, so we have spooky bricks with actually 2 videos recently, very, very interesting. We have a big building, a big Salem Lego mock that follow a little bit in the line of his past spooky builds. Again, amazing build, a lot of great building techniques. And this time we also have a smaller build, a smaller little set with trees and the witches, with this Coven of witches. That is also very, very cool and on a smaller scale. And I always appreciate smaller scale builds. Moving on to racing bricks, we have then another episode of his series of replicable builds. So here 2 builders are featured in this video. You can find all the link in this video with alternate model of the Vespa, which was a great set, by the way. Next up, we have Ben Cossi with again another very interesting sort of Lego related piece. Is this Lego Wii remote that I didn't know existed, and that has been turned by a builder, Kevin H, into actually a very cool spaceship. So have a look out at all these interesting videos about rare Lego. Then one that I highly recommend is this series of video by Jesse Van Dyke. I featured a previous one before. We have the 3rd episode of this series of, it's called, I think, 99 Base Plate project. So it's building a massive fantasy layout, fantasy castle with lights and everything, and all planned in 3D. Is just amazing. And now we are actually starting to see massive chunks of this project coming together, and it's really, really well done. In this video we have this sort of arched build that is very, very cool. So I highly recommend you to check it out and subscribe. It definitely deserves even more views than what is getting now. On my channel we have an alternate build I was mentioning earlier. That is something that I like to do. So this was an alternate build of the recent central train station from Lego City. I didn't change the whole build. I basically just changed the layout from the bridge one that come in the set to a more standard linear traditional train station, and it was quite fun actually. I also have a behind the scene video, made my members only vlog, where they have a little bit of behind the scene on how I come up with my design. And of course, if you like my videos, please consider to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, or go and check out one of the previous episodes of This Week in Bricks. Here is the playlist, and link on screen the latest episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.